So in today's video I'm going to show you how I install the kitchen sink, and the same rule applies to an sink. So this is the sink that I'm going to be installing, and on the bottom is, as you know, you have little grooves where you're actually gonna be using the hooks to attach it to the countertop. The first thing that we need to know is we need to know where we're going to put a sink. So you will have to measure it. I have a tape that I put in, and then we need to know the exact area to cut in. So now I want to see how much space I have on the other side. So I'm going to pull the top a little bit, and I'm gonna go move it a little bit, and I'm gonna try to measure the distance on both sides. Now, so we need to measure this distance, and for me this is going to be about 6 centimeters. I'm working in centimeters because it's a little bit more precise for me. So this is gonna be 6 centimeters, and in the back I only have about 3.5 centimeters. So now I'm gonna measure 6 centimeters from this edge and 3.5 from this edge, so I know not to cut through the supporting brackets on the cabinet. So now once we flip the sink upside down, now you can make an outline of your sink so you know where to cut the line. Or what you can do, what I did before, and I showed that in another video, I made a template, because if you cut the hole right here, it's gonna be way too big. Each sink may have a different specs, so you check your manual for your sink before you do the cuts. And now this is my template that I created, so you can see it will perfectly show me where exactly I need to cut. Now I have my outline using my template. So this is the outside of my sink, and that's gonna be the inside where it's gonna actually drop in, and this is gonna be the lid that's gonna be holding the whole sink. Now, two ways of cutting the laminate is you can cut from the top, but you need to have a saw that has a teeth going down, so you don't damage the top of the laminate. If you want to use a regular saw that has a teeth going straight up, you need to flip the countertop and cut from the bottom, not from the top. Also remember, put a tape in a space where you're gonna be cutting to avoid any peeling of the laminate. So now I need to make a little hole, pilot hole with my drill bits. So remember, you need to cut on the inside of where you're gonna be cutting out, not in the middle. Otherwise you're going to have a too much gap on the outside, and then you can mess up your countertop. Now before we're gonna be cutting, also it would be recommended to put a tape on the inside. So basically you need to have a tape on both sides, just not to damage this underside of the your Formica. Now I already made cuts on all three edges. Now I only have this one left to prevent this hole inside to fall. Once I cut it, I pull the countertop a little bit towards me, so it's gonna rest on this bar, and I also clamped it. Release the clamp. And here we can remove our countertop. And now, once everything is finished, my sink fits perfectly inside of the opening in a countertop. Basically, that's the end of the story. All we have to do now is just to use the clips that are included just to attach the sink to the bottom of the countertop. Also remember, it is recommended to put a silicone on this edge. Now I'm putting a silicone around the rough edges just in case there's a leak. I don't have a problem with the countertop soaking the moisture and getting warped. Underneath the sink there is a rubber seal, but I'm still going to, once I'm gonna install it, put a silicone everywhere around it. This is the hole that I made, and it turns out that it is slightly too small, but no worry, remember that you can always make it bigger. Once you make it too big, you can't make it smaller. So I just want to point out one thing, that when you're gonna be cutting the hole for your sink, remember that if you look, I think from this perspective maybe it's gonna look better. So I was cutting really close to the edge, but I forgot that you need to have those clips. So you need to have enough space for those clips to fit in, because this is the thickness of the clip. So this has to have a little bit of the space. So you don't really need to cut it all the way, so far away, as long as you have little cutouts for the clips. So there's gonna be a space to install it properly. So I'll have to cut my hole a little bit bigger, but like I said, it's better to at least from my point of view, make it a little bit smaller hole and then cut it again and make a little bit bigger one. So this is how I install the sink. Now you know that you can do it by yourself. You just have to be careful not to do it too fast. Like my dad used to say, the speed is only needed when you catch flies. So do those things carefully, slowly. It's better to make a couple of other cuts than make a hole that is too big. It's pretty easy. All you need to do is have a couple of tools, a little patience, and you can do it yourself. Now, when you're gonna be connecting the faucet into the sink, remember that I think it's a little bit easier if you flip the sink over, connect the faucet and everything, connect it, and then connect the water underneath, because it's just easier to work on the faucet this way. And then all you have to do is just finish it up, go and seal it underneath, clean up, connect the drain, and then you're good to go. If you have any questions, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Other than that, give me a thumbs up if you like my video. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye.